Hey guys, welcome back. Today we got the deck of BT-10 that everybody is terrified of, Cross Hearts. So this is a deck that I spent a lot of time, way more time than I thought I was gonna, spend practicing and constructing and testing and trying out any combination of different things for this deck because I was so, curious, like, what is the hype like? How does this play? How do I beat it? We were even talking about in our box pre-release, do we build this deck if we get enough of the pieces, right?
Right.
So shall we dive into the deck profile?
I'm ready, man. I can't wait. This is one of those decks that we were not against playing, but like from the hype about this from Japan, we weren't super interested in it. And then we built it to test, right? We built it to test against because we're like, somebody's going to play this. And then the more we tested with it, the more it was so much fun. Because like me personally, you know me, I love those alternate play styles, right?
Yeah.
This is not a build a big stack kind of format. Like,
This is absolutely not.
Super fun.
So we'll start with our low end, of course. The pick bonds, I think everybody agrees that this is a mandatory 4 of. The deck does not need a 5th egg. You just want the pick consistently. And honestly, if you don't win by the time you're done with your 4th egg, you've got to figure either something unique to win, or you just had a really bad hand, or you still need more practice with the deck. This deck wins by the time you use all 4 eggs, so there's no reason to play a 5th. And the inheritable, the drawing a card, you need to draw cards in this deck. It is crazy how much draw is already in the deck, how much search is in the deck, and you still need to draw off that egg. So speaking of search, our first level 3, we are playing 4 of the mandatory Shoutmon. Great on play. He is a 4 cost. The Green Tamer does reduce the cost by 1, so you can keep extending your plays if you need to. He gives rush to all your stacks, which is what you need in this deck.
It's the most important thing, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are playing 4 Starmons as well. You got to be able to make your sword properly, so the Starmon really helps. A good inheritable as well to draw cards when you start swinging with your X4s, your X5s. Very good to the deck.
Now, if we're talking about Starmons, I've seen lists that play 2 of the BT4 Starmons as well.
Yeah, so I personally did not do that just because I found that my space is limited on the 3s, and I didn't want to take away the consistency elsewhere. And that's really not a bad call. It's got a good on play, being able to kill, things off with how many bodies you have. You can Digivolve on your yellow egg, so that's good. But personally, I'm not a fan of it.
Okay.
If you try it, let us know what you think. But then that's also another good point when we're talking about level 3s. I've seen some lists play only 3 Sparrows. Interesting. I like the 4 of. It's a high DP body. He gets up to 5k all turns if you have another cross heart, which with this deck, it's just natural, right? Yeah. So I like the 4 Sparrows. It also does Digivolve on the Pikmon, so you can, early Digivolve with the Pick, and then keep the Shout and Star in hand if you have it for your cross pieces, and then you can save this later when you need to, right? But let's talk about another level 3 that I'm playing that I don't see a lot of people playing.
And is that your card of the week?
This was my card of the week. So for those of you who have not seen our podcast episode, feel free to jump and watch it. I talk a lot about this card and why I was just so excited put this card in this deck. I feel like this card, even though it is a vanilla, it is a 4K vanilla, which you almost never use anymore, right? It's just so exciting to the deck. It adds a lot of dimension to the deck. So it's great. Turn 1, evolve the Dondoko on top of the Pikmon to draw your card for Digivolving. Then when you raise it out, you draw a card when it swings. Allows you to save your Shout, your Stars, your Sparrows if you need to for your X4, your X5 pieces later on. This also is a red body, so in case you did not get your Taikis and you really want to activate your red options in this deck, this helps increase the consistency. There was so many times when I first started testing this deck that I was just using these 12 rookies, right. And I was finding myself not having the red consistently enough to trigger my red options, that I went the wrong direction with my deck testing, and I tried taking out red options. Or I tried like reducing my options to try to, because they would be dead cards in hand, right? And so it really opened up the way this deck plays, makes it much, much more consistently. Last point I'll make about this guy, and then we'll move on, is that you can Digivolve the Ballista and the Dorulu on top of that. So in raising, if you just don't have any other good plays, to where you can draw another card, and then that is the card that gets saved, right? Because he does not have save. So if you Digivolve on top of this, it feels good compared to Digivolving on top of Shout, Stars, or Sparrows.
Because they have to go
Because they
away.
have save.
Yeah,
exactly.
gotcha,
So
yeah.
these are my level 3s. I tried any number from 1, 2, and 3, and I just kept increasing as I was testing this, how much I liked it. I feel great about the 3. The 4K is nice in security. 4K is nice to kill opposing little dudes as well.
Gotcha.
So we'll move into, I think, more of the core pieces that everybody else is kind of agrees with. I'm playing 4 Ballistas.
Yep. Love that card.
Mandatory card as a 4 of in the deck. Same thing with the Jason Derulumon, right? As we like to call him. So blocker on play minus 2K. Very, very effective, especially when you pair it with an option. There's a fun little combo I'll talk about at the end of our deck profile where you can do his on play. So I really, really like these. You have to play them as a 4 of. And this is also a mandatory 4 of for the deck.
Yeah.
The Shout 4.
That card.
Shout Cross 4, X4. Forgive me, guys. I don't know what to call it. So
I believe it's Cross 4.
Cross 4. We'll call him Cross 4. Let's be consistent, right? Yeah. Great card for the deck. On play, draw 2. And there's so many times where you already have a full hand, but because the only material saves 2, you have to start fishing for your other pieces to digicross with, where you draw on his on play, you draw from the Yellow Tamer, you draw from the Shoutmon when it swings. It has rush, right? And you want to continue your loop. You're basically going to loop this to swing 3 to 4 times in one turn to do a whole bunch of damage, and you have to really plan out what pieces you're going to save.
And with the Green Tamer and all the right cross components, you can play that for free.
Yes, exactly. So it's very, very strong in the deck. Cannot play less than a 4 of. This is one that I have seen people play less than a 4 of, the Shout Cross 5. And you could argue 3. In all my testing, I really liked it as a 4 of.
Yeah.
He is just such a strong body. The 10K is very relevant in this meta. A lot of things are lower than 10K unless you're hitting their top end, which if you hit in their security, they don't have it in their hand. They can't do their combo. So it's, you know what I'm saying? It's like a loss for you, but also a loss for them in that case. But the security attack +1 and blocker is so good,
it's so
especially
crazy.
when you give a reboot with the Sparrow.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm personally running 4 Sparrows and 4 of the Shout 5, because I really like, even if I only have 2 to 3 of the pieces, hard playing this for 4, only giving my opponent 1 to 2 memory, but having a blocker security attack +1 on my board for the next turn, like early game pressure. The Shout 5, I mean, turn 1, I'll even do that if I have the right pieces just to get that early aggression. I really like these cards. Really helps the deck. And let's move on to some other stuff, shall we?
Yeah, it blows me away like how much you can do with such little memory.
Yes, this deck with just little memory.
It's a loop. It just loops and loops and loops.
Exactly. It's a great way to think of it. Really helps your brain kind of process how the deck works. So I'll dive into Tamers last. So let's talk about options first. So I'm playing 3 Sunrise Busters.
That card's too good.
So my first build of this was like 2 Crimson Blaze, 2 Sunrise Busters, 2 Fireballs. That was without the Don Donkomon, so I kept finding myself not having the red to be able to trigger Sunrise Buster or triggering my Fireball, or triggering Crimson Blaze. And I tried a bunch of different combinations. I tried the green Grandel Soul. I tried the new yellow 8-cost option because you do have yellow and green sources to trigger those. So if you're a big fan of those cards, or if you notice in your meta that would work, definitely mess around with those. But what I really like about the Sunrise Buster and why I went up to a 3 of, and I'm staying at a 3 of, is there's just times where you just need to draw into it to really clear something off your opponent's board, like a Death X or something. And that Sunrise Buster is just nasty.
Yeah.
Plays a Tamer. It can do minus, a bunch of DP on that. And then what's even great about the Sunrise Busters is if you combo it right.
Yep,
I've seen you do this. Play the Yellow Tamer, and then you play, our Dorulumon. Yep. That's an additional minus 3K on top of the Sunrise Buster, to where you can start doing some yellow math and deleting bodies that you need to delete, or delete a couple things or whatever.
It reminds me of the Flame Hellscythe Maycrack kind of combo.
Exactly. That's a great way to think of it. So I in my personal opinion, you got to play a 3 of Sunrise Buster.
Yeah.
4 felt like it clogged my hand a little too much, so I did not play 4. But that's because I'm playing 2 of another red option, Fireball. So I was playing, like I said, I tried different combinations of Fireball. I took it out at one point because in my first build, I didn't have enough red to consistently trigger it when I needed it. But then once I added the Dondonkos, then I was like, okay, I can start playing red again. And I tried Hero of the Skies. Hero of the Skies was cool because you were able to draw cards and give that Shout security attack +1, but it's only the cross 5. It's only
the Shout, right?
It's only the cross 5 that you can give security attack. But you can give security attack +1 to anybody, but you have to have that on the board to trigger both.
To do it, yeah,
right?
Exactly, yeah.
So, and I've noticed that my opponent had a really easy time of shutting down the memory or the loop if they would play a Saichimon, a Solarmon, or a Chikorymon. So the Fireball has a secondary effect. Well, I guess I should say the first effect,
Primary
right?
effect, yeah.
The primary effect is to delete a 3K body. So being able to delete Saichimon, Chikorymon, so you can make your play that turn is really effective. That's why you have to play the Fireball. I do only like it as a 2-of. You could argue the 3 if you notice that you need to draw more pieces and stuff. But the way I've built this deck, being able to have that early game draw for the additional level 3s compared to most lists, because I'm playing 15 level 3s, helps me filter and draw to where I don't necessarily need to use this early game. But if I have to, I have it.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy with these options. I would not change these personally, but if you do, let us know in the comments below. And we shall start diving into the Tamers.
The Power Rangers.
Yes, we're gonna bring out the gang, right? So this is one of those things that I think everybody agrees with of the first 3 Tamers, right?
Yeah.
You play 4 of
and
each
4. Yep.
of these. It is just too good not to. Starting to set up these pieces really helps your deck. Really increases the search with the Taiki, being able to draw, being able to gain memory. So many fun things you can do. I mean, I love it when I hit one of these in security and then I pop out a body out from underneath the Tamer that I've saved or played it from my hand.
Yeah.
These ability to gain 1 memory and draw a card is only your turn, so you don't get to do that if they're hitting security, but you still get to play the body.
Yeah.
Really helps setting you up.
Very key.
Very key.
Especially because half of those bodies are blockers.
Yeah, so I have 2 more. If you guys have been following along, I have 2 more cards left in the deck. I've showed you 48 cards, so there's 2 more. And I've tried a couple different Tamers. I tried the BT-10 tie that I see a lot of people play. I didn't like it. I like the 3 memory. Didn't like the security attack +1 because I feel like I didn't always have the pieces.
Right.
And I feel like I didn't need that additional security attack. I'm either so aggressive with the cross 5 or I loop with the shout 4 or I've swung, with a bunch of little dudes that I've saved that I didn't need that additional security attack.
Right.
The Dual Tamer is an honorable mention for me. I'm not playing it. Instead, I'm playing the Christopher or Kihira, however you want to say it, right? The Dual Tamer, Tai and Kari, the yellow-red, really was nice. If I could have more room in the deck, if it was a 52 card deck, I would play 2 more of those, sure. But I like this.
Yeah.
And the reason why I like this is besides setting the memory at 3, it has the same ability as the Taiki. So with all the Tamer removal in the deck in the game right now, a lot of people are trying to build for that. They might be able to get rid of this, but they won't be able to get rid of that one easily.
Right. Like the Mega Dramons will pop those 3s all day long, but it can't touch that one.
Yep. And, as Black War Gray, if I'm only playing 3-cost Tamers, the Black War Gray can kill 2 Tamers.
Yeah.
But they can't kill this and that.
Right.
They'd have to kill one or the other or pick 2 of that.
Yeah.
So personally, this is how I'd recommend playing it. If you have not played the Crossheart deck, start with this set of Tamers.
Yeah.
Don't deviate. Start here, then change it. Because, like I said, I added in the Dual Tamer, and the extra memory was nice, but I found myself wishing I had more consistency or more stronger options instead of that 2 extra memory, because you gain memory Zendro. Being at 3 is fine for the deck with how cheap you can Digicross. This is what I like with the Tamers. So I'll get the deck laid out and show you it all.
I mean, I've seen you loop with 1 memory and kill me when I had 3 security. Like, having 3 memory to start your turn is crazy in that deck.
It's really devastating being able to do
that
that.
deck's so efficient.
Yes, that's the strength of this deck. You want to build this deck to efficiently do your combo, right? And if you try to deviate from that, you're going to bite yourself in the butt. And you're going to struggle to, being like, man, if I didn't draw enough cards, or man, I kept having a bunch of dead cards that didn't do anything. So that was my thought process behind the deck, is how do I maximize the color consistency? How do I maximize the draw consistency? Just to be able to extend the plays that I need to extend. So
I think the biggest key in this deck too is that I think that when we first saw this deck, we thought like, oh, this is going to be a deck where it's just like, kind of like a rookie rush deck or like a gimmicky deck, right? But it's like the more I've played this deck and the more I've seen you play this deck, this is a very skill heavy deck in the fact that you have to know your pieces. You have to know what's in trash. You have to know what's in hand, because all those material saves are not like you get to save everything underneath. You still have to get rid of pieces. So you really have to pay attention to what's in the trash, what's in your hand, what you still need to pull off the big combos, and it's My biggest recommendation when you're playing this deck is just to slow down. Like if you're going to material save, slow down, look at your hand, look at your trash, figure out what pieces you need.
Yeah, figure out how many of the Shoutmon Rush you have, because you can't rush if you don't have that.
Right.
You know, so if you have to material save something and you have to save that one, or figure out how many ballistas you've already used or whatever. So, all right, guys. Here's my Crossheart deck for BT-10. I'm very happy with this deck. Let me know if you try it, what you like, what you didn't like. But again, I've tested a bunch of different versions. I spent way more time on this deck than I thought I was going to. I'm very happy with this build.
Yeah, that one is nasty. I've played against it a handful of times.
It's pretty devastating.
Yeah, good stuff, though.
So thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned. We're going to have tons more great BT-10 content coming your way.
All right.